Amaya will serve as the interim secretary for this meeting. The interim secretary will take the role.
Okay, Mr. Trimble,
Mr. Trimble?
Present.
Tiara Barnes, sorry,
Present.
Tamika McNamee.
President. And
Mhm.
as Ms. Powers stated, I'm sorry, we are streaming live to YouTube. I just wanted all of our participants to know that we are streaming live via YouTube. Thank you.
Okay. All right, and Sherry, I'm present. Priscilla Fowler,
Present.
Janice Arnold, present,
Present.
and Yolanda Barrow. Not here. Okay. And Xavier Nash. Not here.
Not here.
All right. And then Joanne Evans Taylor,
She,
so that position is vacant.
that position is vacant, as well as Ms. Barrow's position is vacant.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Now, the roster you guys have is different from the one that I have.
Okay.
So I'll read from the one that I have, and it was sent with the rest of the resources for the meeting.
Okay.
So if you scroll down in that first email, Principal Trimble, and I think I also may have forwarded it to you, Ms. McNamee, it has the roster. So that's the current roster. So I'll read it off, and just if you all will make sure that you update your minutes to reflect that roster. So it's Miss Tiara Barnes,
Present.
Avis Lundy, Xavier Nash, Priscilla Good Fowler,
Yes, present.
Tamika McNamee,
Present.
is it Sherry Amaya?
Present.
And then is it Janice Arnold?
Yes, but I think that I was supposed to drop off. I think last term was my last turn, I believe.
So this is your final year. You're in the even year community
Mhm.
member seat. So your current term will end on June 30th of 2022, at the end of this year, basically.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yes, so Ms. Barrow, her last year was last year, as well as Ms. Evans Taylor. So those are the two updates.
Okay.
Those two ladies are vacated their seat.
Okay. So we will send you the updated roster.
Or I can send it to y'all, whoever.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have a copy, but y'all just need
Okay.
it for your secretary for your minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
Glad to help.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, so we just move on. Since we do have a quorum present, we'll go ahead and proceed to the action items. Our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you and copies are here. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Your agenda is also on the screen at this time.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I motion to approve the agenda.
A second?
I second.
All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand so the secretary can record your vote.
Yay. Yay for Arnold.
All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Okay, Now we'll move to fill vacant seats. Is that me or that's Trumbull? It's gonna be Trumbull.
Mr. Trimble?
Mr. Trumbull, you ready?
Okay, all right. So now we will move to fill vacant seats. Before we begin this process, I'd like to remind the GO team of the following. The principal brings forth the nominations for the vacant and open community seats. All GO team members have only one vote per seat. Individuals filling a vacant seat will serve until the conclusion of the seat's term. Individuals filling an open seat will serve for the full 2-year term. Upon approval, individuals are immediately full GO team members and may join the meeting. We will now begin filling our vacant seats. These are seats which have been vacated prior to the end of the term. I have the following nominations for our GO team vacant seats and my rationale for their nomination. So for our community member, we are looking to add Ms. Asha Wright. Ms. Wright is a community member who came highly recommended, and she is passionate about the work that we're doing in the South Atlanta cluster and in our Humphreys community in particular. She would be a community member. So I nominate Ms. Asha Wright to fill the vacant position of Ms. Joanne Evans Taylor. Does anyone have any comments or discussions about this nominee?
Yes, Mr. Trimble, this is Ms. McNamee. I look very forward to working side by side with Ms. Wright. She's very enthusiastic and very understanding. Thank you.
Sounds good. All righty. We will now proceed to vote on the nomination of Ms. Asha Wright for the position of community member. All in favor of Ms. Asha Wright joining the GO team, please say yay or raise your hand. Okay, none opposed. Okay, that motion carries. Now I would like to nominate Ms. Yorkita Taylor to fill the vacant position by, I'm not sure who that one was, Ms. McNamee.
That was by Ms. Barrow, but at this time, Ms. Taylor North has not signed on, so
Yes.
we'll have to carry that over to the next meeting.
Okay, all right.
He can go ahead with the nomination. She doesn't have to be here to accept.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Yorkita Taylor is one of our parents currently, but she's had several children to come up in Humphreys, so she's definitely invested in the work that we're doing here. So I nominate Ms. Yorkita Taylor to fill a swing seat. So that is not one of the parent seats, but that is a swing seat. Okay, we will now proceed to vote on this nomination of Ms. Yorkita Taylor for the position of the swing seat. All those in favor, please say yay or raise your hand. Any opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. No abstentions, the motion carries. So we welcome Ms. Taylor as well.
Okay, you want me to add? Okay. We will review the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been provided to you. Are there any corrections?
I'll also display them on the screen. Give me 1 second. They're also in your email.
But we sent them an email, so,
Yes, it's in the email, but I like to display
Mhm.
this.
okay, give us a few minutes or seconds.
Okay. So you should see our Go Team website. And go to our previous. So all of our minutes for our new members will be located on the school's website as well.
Okay. If there are no further corrections, may I have a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes? All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Okay, now we will move to electing Go Team officers. Before we begin the nominations, I would like to remind the Go Team of the following. Nominations do not have to be second. A member may nominate themselves. A member may nominate more than one person for any position. A member may decline a nomination during the nomination process. Members may not serve more than 2 consecutive terms in the same officer position at the same school. Nominees do not have to leave the room during the nomination period or when a vote is taken. If there is more than one nominee per elected office, each nominee will be offered an opportunity to share why they should be elected to the seat. If there is more than one nominee per elected office, each nominee will be offered an opportunity to share why they should be elected to the seat. The newly elected officers will assume their position starting at the conclusion of this meeting and serve for 1 year or until a new officer is elected. All voting members have 1 vote per seat. First, we will elect the Go Team's chair. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the chair include, but are not limited to, leading the Go Team meetings, working with the principal and the Go Team to develop meeting agendas, ensuring every Go Team member has an opportunity to be heard. I will open the floor to receive chair nominations.
At this time, I would like to nominate Ms. Fowler for our position of Go Team Chair.
Okay, if there is no further nominations, I will close the floor and we will begin the confirmation process. We have 1 person being considered for the chair seat. The nomination for the chair seat is myself, Priscilla Fowler. At this time, I will offer each chair nominee an opportunity to explain why they should be the best candidate for this position. Since it's me, I can move forward. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, so for the nomination of Priscilla Fowler to fill the position of the chair, all in favor, please say yay or raise your hand.
Yay.
I can vote for myself. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? please say abstain or raise your hand. Congratulations to myself. You will serve as the Go Team Chair for this school year. Now, we will elect the Go Team Vice Chair. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the Vice Chair include, are not limited to, ensuring the Go Team follows the parliamentary procedures, okay. Working with the principal and the chair to develop meeting agendas, acting as the chair, and that the chair is not present. I will open the floor to receive vice chair nominations. I nominate Ms. McNamee.
Thank you.
Mhm. Would any of the nominees like to decline the nomination? If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the vice chair seat. The nomination for the vice chair is Tamika McNamee. At this time, I will offer each vice chair nominee an opportunity to explain. Done it before, you want to say something?
Yes, well,
Okay.
thank you. I have experience as the chair. So I'm definitely experienced with working with the principal as well as the secretary and other members of the Go Team. Thank you for your nomination.
Okay, so for the nomination, Ms. Tamika McNamee to fill the position of the vice chair. All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Congratulations, Ms. McNamee. You will serve as the Go Team Vice Chair for this school year.
Thank you.
Now we will elect the Go Team Secretary. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the secretary include, but are not limited to, posting Go Team document agendas, summaries, and minutes to the website and at the school, taking minutes at the Go Team meetings, ensuring the Go Team is in compliance with the Georgia open meeting laws. I will now open the floor to receive the secretary nominations. I would like to nominate Dr. Amaya. Would any of the nominees like to decline the nomination?
No.
Okay. If there are no further nominations, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the secretary seat. The nomination for secretary is Dr. Amaya. At this time, I will offer each secretary nominee an opportunity to explain why they are the best candidate. Would you like to say anything?
Oh, no, but just thank you. And I have really thoroughly have been enjoying being the secretary. I've always been the secretary in all of my meetings. For a Sunday school teacher, when I wasn't teaching, I was the secretary. So it fits well. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. For the nomination, Dr. Amaya to fill the position of secretary. All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Congratulations, Dr. Amaya. You will serve as the Go Team Secretary for this year. Now, we will elect the Go Team Cluster Representative. Cluster representatives may also hold another officer's position, chair, vice chair, or secretary. As a reminder, the responsibilities of the cluster representatives include, but are not limited to, attending all cluster advisory team meetings, approximately 3, reporting back to the Go Team on the CAT meetings. I will now open the floor to receive cluster representative nominations. Ma'am.
Yes. I would like to nominate Ms. Asha Wright.
Would any of the nominees like to decline the nomination?
I might have to decline because I actually have a big exam coming up, and I don't know that I want to take on that bandwidth without at least getting familiar with GoTeam. So, our
Okay.
apologies, but for sure next year.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, are there anyone else we would like to nominate?
I'd like to nominate Ms. Fowler.
Okay, and I accept the nomination, so I will also, I will represent the cluster. If there's no further nomination, I will close the floor. We will begin the confirmation process. We have one person being considered for the cluster representative seat. The nomination for the cluster representative seat is myself, Priscilla Fowler. At this time, I will offer, it's only just me, so we'll skip that part. For the nomination of Priscilla Fowler to fill the position of cluster representative, all in favor, please say yay or raise your hand. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Okay, congratulations to myself. We will serve as the GoTeam cluster representative for this school year. We will now move to our next item of business in reviewing and updating or confirming our GoTeam public comment format. Public comment opportunities are available for the GoTeams to hear from interested members of the community from section 3.4 of the GoTeam handbook. Opportunities for the public comment shall be provided at least 4 times in the school fiscal year and noted on the meeting agenda. GoTeam members will not provide responses or engage in direct conversations during the meetings. Each GoTeam may determine a consistent method for receiving public comments for parents and other citizens to sign up to address the team. At least 20 minutes of time to the public to make comments at the meetings where public comments is permitted, and the public receives at least 2 business days notice of the protocol for signing up to speak. Here is an example of a public comment format from the GoTeam handbook.
And I am actually going to share our public comment form that is also found on the website. And this was our public comment section from last year. A public comment request will be accepted up until 3 p.m. on the days of designated GoTeam meetings. Public comments will occur during a 20-minute period at the beginning of designated GoTeam meetings. Each commenter will have 2 minutes for their comment. I also included a link last year, our public comment request form link, where parents or any member of our community can click and request the opportunity to speak.
Take it on. Okay, so please take a moment to review our current public comment information. Are there any recommendations for updates or changes to our public comment format? May I have a motion to adopt this public comment format?
I motion to adopt.
Okay. A second?
I second.
All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Adhering to the agenda, we will now discuss our meeting calendar for the school year. As a reminder, our GO team is required to have at least 6 meetings this school year. 4 of the meetings must permit time for public comment. Meetings cannot be held during the instructional school day, and meeting locations must be places which can accommodate the public. May I have suggestions or recommendations for meeting dates and times? Matt?
Yes, I'll go ahead and share my screen again at this time. So these were the suggested dates based around, most of them are based around the budgeting process. You'll notice that there are 2 open dates for January and for March. I'm not due to the updates in the budgeting
Yes.
process, so those dates haven't been
Solidified.
recommended at this time. Also, we don't have our public comment, so we can also go ahead and identify which dates we would like for public comment.
Okay, now we need to determine at which meetings will we allocate the time for the public comment. As a reminder, we must allow for public comments at least 4 times during the school year. Now that we have determined our calendar, may I have a motion to approve the calendar?
We have to vote on the comment.
Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Trevor, do you have any input as to which meetings you would like to allow for public comment?
And then, hi, this is Chandra. So you guys would need to go ahead and put dates on the calendar for those the open meetings, the January date, and then the open date in March. You guys could always reschedule the meeting if necessary, but you would need to identify a specific date.
So we can put a date there, and if we have to amend it, we can go back and change it?
Yeah, you can reschedule a meeting if needed, but yeah, you should identify a date.
Okay. So can we just put the other date we had in? I have it.
January 13th.
Yeah, go ahead and put January the 13th back
Okay.
and put March the 3rd back for
March
now.
3rd.
And
Okay,
then
for now.
we'll, yes, and then we'll change it.
And I would actually probably suggest in January, maybe something later in the month, because usually the principals don't receive their budget training until I think like around that second week of January.
Okay, I'm getting ready to tell you now. So,
January 20th, following week, or
the 27th,
the 27th?
can we do that? Yeah, let's do the 27th.
okay.
Yes, that'll give us enough time.
And might I suggest public comment on the 16th, the 27th, the 17th, and the 3rd? Because I believe our last meeting is really us just voting.
Mhm.
Wouldn't be necessarily taking any input from the community.
Okay. So you want to keep it on the 3rd? But now I think we have to change it.
Yeah, I put for December, you guys see my screen?
Okay, I can see it now.
Yes,
Okay.
December 6th. I'm going to mark for public comment at this
Mhm.
time. January 27th, public comment. February 17th, public comment, as well as March 3rd, our tentative date, March 3rd for public comment.
Okay.
Was that 2 dates in January?
No, it's only one.
So we have January 27th, I can make it a little larger.
Yeah, we had the 3rd, we changed it. Okay, ready? Okay.
Yes.
So now that we have determined at which meetings will be allocated time for public comment, as a reminder, we must follow the public comment at least 4 times during the school year. Now we need to, let's see, now that we have determined our calendar, may I have a motion to approve the calendar?
I motion to approve the calendar. I know at this time our meetings are virtual, but if we were to come face to face, it would definitely be held probably in the media center where there's enough space for everyone.
Okay,
So I motion to approve.
yes. A second?
I second.
All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand.
Yeah.
All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Now, please enter these dates into your personal calendars so you do not forget.
They will also be posted on the school's website.
Now, we will determine our Go Team meeting norms. We'll begin by reviewing the initial Go Team meeting norms. This is a meeting of the Go Team. All members of the team may participate in the discussions. Any member of the public present are here to quietly observe. We will be fully present. We will follow the agenda as noted to the public and stay on task. We will be respectful of each other at all times. We will be open-minded. We will invite and welcome contributions of every member and listen to each other. We will respect all ideas and assume good intentions. We will approach differences of opinion with curiosity. Does anyone have any changes to these norms? May I have a motion to adopt these norms for our Go Team?
I motion to adopt the norms.
A second?
A second.
All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. We will now move to discussion items on our agenda.
We don't have, yes, we don't have any discussion items at this time, but we do have information items, so we can move on to our information items.
Okay. First is the principal's report.
All righty, good afternoon, everyone. Once again, we will go over several things that we have on our list. First thing with COVID protocols, I'm going to put a couple of documents in the chat. And these may answer many of the questions that any of us may have about COVID and how it impacts our school. These are the 2 documents that I lean heavily on when we have COVID cases. So I would definitely advise that you take a look at those and read them at your leisure, because they kind of contain all of the information. These 2 documents are in English here, but on our website, they are in English and in Spanish. So when you go to the Humphreys website, it's on our first page. You just look to the right and all of those documents have links there. And so I would advise everyone to take a look at those when you get a chance. A couple of things about COVID and how it does impact schools, because it truly does impact our what we do here on a daily basis. One way it impacts us is through our surveillance testing. And so the district made a decision that will require all staff to take COVID tests twice a week. And so we will be tested on Mondays and Thursdays. Today was our first full day for staff, and we had 100% participation. We had 3 staff members out. However, I feel that we would probably, those staff members will probably be willing to be tested as well. But today was also our testing for our students. And so Thursday is testing for students. We currently have about 95 of our 200, approximately 200 students that get surveillance testing. So that's less than half. Today we had 4 positive tests for students, which impacted the 4 students and 4 more students that were in close proximity. And so the information that I'm sharing with you, Atlanta Public Schools shares this information for every school in the district every Friday. You simply just look on the website and it has all of the cases, positive cases for students and teachers, and the number of exposures. So that is available every Friday. And so with the ones that we had today, we've had 3 different weeks where we have had positive cases. And so we just have to maneuver through that. Another way that COVID impacts us is through the children of our staff. And so when children of our staff are having to quarantine, many times the teachers have to quarantine as well. And so that puts us in a quandary where we have to find coverage for the classroom. So we're doing the best as we can as far as managing COVID. I think one thing that we've done a great job with is the teachers are positioning their rooms to where the students are not within 3 feet, and they are all socially distanced, and not only in the classroom, but throughout the day. The teachers do an excellent job with that. We have sanitizing stations located not only in the classrooms, but throughout the building. Children get their temperature taken and get sanitized when entering the building in the morning. So I think all the mitigation strategies we're doing helps, but you know, there's just no foolproof way to prevent COVID exposures and positive cases. The intervention and enrichment blocks are going well. For those of you that this is a new topic, a part of our district's initiatives to eliminate some of the learning loss that many of our children experienced over the last 18 months is implementing intervention blocks along with the universal screeners. So I'll talk about both of these when we're talking about that. So some of our students were identified who needed intervention, and they took several diagnostic assessments through the Houston Mifflin platforms, and that gives them personalized, individualized instruction as long as they remain in the intervention program. Those students who were not identified as in need of intervention, or who are new to Humphreys, were placed in an enrichment block. And so during the enrichment block, they work on some of the same type of strategies. However, they don't use the HMH or Hoeflin Mifflin platform. And so, and then both of these groups are flexible. So as students test out of intervention, they go into enrichment. And as those students test out, that opens up more licenses, and then we're able to move some of the students in enrichment into intervention if needed. The universal screener, for those of you who are familiar with Atlanta Public Schools, even parents, for years we used the STAR assessment. So this year and going forward, we have gone away from STAR, and now we're using the MAP. And so MAP is our universal screener. We take that 3 times a year to show student growth. And also it gives us a lot of data when it comes to flexible groupings and the different supports that the students need in particular skills. And so that's the most important part of MAP, is it helps us identify the skills that the students need support with. Enrollment or leveling, there's been no word on leveling, and what leveling is, you know, district looks at the number of students that we have versus the number of teachers we have and make adjustments as needed. So if we have a lot of students, more than we were projected, we gain teachers. If we don't have students that we were projected, many times we lose teachers. But we have not had any word on leveling just yet. Our current enrollment is 202, but we've kind of been hovering around 200. That is down 25 from what we were projected. So we were projected to have 225 students, and right now we're at 202. And so we'll just have to see. I'm not sure about leveling and if it will actually occur this year. So it may be the case that, of course, COVID has impacted enrollment, not only at Humphreys, but throughout the district. And so it may be the case that we do not level, but I'm just not for certain. Hopefully by our next meeting, we'll have some updates on that. Milestones results. And so last year, even during a virtual hybrid kind of year, we took the milestones assessment. As an educator, I don't believe that these were the most accurate measures of our students' abilities. I think that, you know, there was learning loss, however you cut it, even if the students came here during the second semester, there was, that I don't feel like they were adequately prepared for the assessment. However, 38% of our 3rd through 5th grade students did take the assessment, okay? And so what that amounted to for us is we had 128 students eligible to take the assessment. So that's 128 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students. Out of that 128, 48 took the assessment. So that's 38%. 38% took the assessment. And this is math, I'm sorry, this is math. Of that 38%, only 2% had a score of proficient. Okay, and so that 2% really amounted to 1 student. So 1 student had a score of proficient out of the 48 that took it. That's math. Let's talk about ELA. You'll have the same 128, the same 48 that took it, but you had 4 students that scored proficient. So you had 4 students that scored proficient. in ELA. I would ask that you don't read much into these data because this last year was a very, it was abnormal year. This year is an abnormal year. However, we are pressing forward and we have a lot more supports here at the school than we did last year. COVID is still out. It is still impacting what we do. However, our aim is just to keep the kids in school. I think if we keep the kids in school, our teachers are getting better. The strategies that they're using are getting better. And so I feel like this May, when we take it, our students will, perform a lot better. Okay. CARES Act funding. We have a meeting with our federal program specialist tomorrow, where we will receive our CARES Act budget and make plans on how to best use those funds. And so we, again, will have an update at our next meeting about our CARES Act funding. Any questions that I could answer on either of those topics? Okay. All right, if there are no questions, please feel free, and I'll put my email in the chat as well. Please feel free at any time to email me any questions or concerns. Thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Chairperson Fowler.
Now, does anyone have any announcements?
It does say, for announcements, our new Go Team member training and orientation. I did receive an email. It looks as if the platform has been updated. So it should be a little easier to go on and take your member training. I believe Ms. Asha Wright will have to go through both processes. And Ms. Fowler, you just finished yours, correct?
Yes, I finished mine. I still have maybe 2 more to do, but yes. I do know how to navigate through the platform. So if anyone need any assistance, I'll be gladly to help you. We can do a Zoom and I can share my screen and actually show you how to get into the platform. Just let me know. And I'll put my email address into the chat box as well. Okay, we have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time? Well, okay, may I have a motion to adjourn this meeting? Ma'am,
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
a second?
I second.
All in favor, please say yay or raise your hand. All opposed, please say nay or raise your hand. Any abstentions? Please say abstain or raise your hand. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. We'll see you guys on the next Go Team meeting. We will send out an email to make sure that you have all the information that you need.
Thank you,
Have a good evening, everyone.
everyone. Thank you. Good evening.